Hello everybody. Today I am bringing you guys the most up-to-date and well-informed DPS specialization rankings in World of Warcraft. For a very long time, I have been studying at the Dratnos School of Arts and Tarot card reading in order to be able to bring you the most well-informed and up-to-date readings of specializations in World of Warcraft via tarot cards. And today we are going to be bringing you the absolute pinnacle of DPS rankings. So starting off the tier list today, we have the Destruction Warlock. Some of you love them, some of you hate them, but let's take a look at what the tarot cards have to say about the Destruction Warlock. Oh goodness. As you can guys see, the Destruction Warlock has drawn the Emperor. The Emperor is the most powerful card in a tarot card reader's deck, meaning that Destruction Warlocks and Warlocks in general are almighty and powerful. Being kings of their emperorship, the Destruction Warlock deserves a ranking in the S tier. Next on the docket for today is the Arcane Mage. And with the Arcane Mage, the tarot card has discovered that they will be the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is one of the more powerful cards, especially for the spellcaster variety, signifying a new beginning to a whole. Thus, the Arcane Mage will be the meta specialization for the Magician class going into World of Warcraft Shadowlands. But that leads to question, where will they be ranked? The Ace of Wands is not the most powerful card in the deck, but it is very powerful, leading the Arcane Magician to be an A-tier specialization. The next specialization that we have to rank is the always intrusive Outlaw Rogue. Most would deem it as a pest spec, but the tarot cards may have something else to be able to deem it as. And with this drawing, we actually have, interestingly enough, the King of Cups. King of Cups probably indicates many things. King of MDI Cups, for one example, meaning that Outlaw Rogue will remain one of the most dominant specializations in World of Warcraft, but only in Mythic Plus, taking over a dominant role inside of MDI Cup play and MDI play. Oh, fuck. We'll just go with MDI Cup play and then I'll probably cut. But where does it rank on the tier list? Being a top contender for MDI Cup play, I think the Outlaw Rogue deserves a special spot in the A tier. Next is the Fire Magician specialization. Paying for their 8.3 cents, will they be able to recover in my Shadowlands tier list rankings according to Swami Tettles? Will the tarot cards follow, or will fire mages be punished for their sins? Let's take a look. Oh no. As you can see, the tarot cards have revealed the Hanged Man for Fire Mage. But what does this mean? The Hanged Man indicates death and destruction, meaning that Fire Mage is no more and the days of 8.3 are over. Crab emoji. Fire Mage taking their place down in the F tier, as they so deserve after all of their sins from 8.3. Next up, we have the Enhancement Shaman. Enhancement Shaman is one of the more potent specs inside of BFA after benefiting a lot from corruption and slappers, but honestly, quite underrated. Let's see what the tarot cards have to do with and what they have to say about the Enhancement Shaman. Unfortunately enough, the tarot cards have cast great judgment on the Enhancement Shaman spec. Honestly, this is point and simple. Enhancement Shaman, F tier. They have been judged greatly, judged harshly, and as a medium for the tarot cards, I must put them in the F tier. Next, but certainly not least, we have the Arms Warrior. The Arms Warrior is one of the most powerful and beloved creatures inside of the tarot cards deck, but at the same time, as the pendulum swings back and forth, not all things will remain the same. Let's see what is to remain of the Arms Warrior come Shadowlands. It is the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands means that Arms Warrior will be going Night Fae Covenant to simp for the Queen. That is not very good for our warrior or our hero, but that will put them in the C tier because their simping will be rewarded with slightly better than enhancement. Lying stealthily in the shadows, the Subtlety Rogue has great potential for being an excellent specialization in Shadowlands. But, as we know, they are at the mercy of Blizzard. Let's see what the tarot cards have to say about where Blizzard's favor will fall on the legendary Subtlety Rogue in Shadowlands. Ooh, this is very fortuitous for the Subtlety Rogue. As you guys can see, the 9 of Swords. Previously, a 2 of Swords, the Subtlety Rogue has been upgraded by 7-fold to actually do damage in Shadowlands. Putting them as the 9 of Swords, they will be ranked highly in the A tier. They are not overpowered, but they have great potential to be an excellent specialization according to the tarot cards. Brother to the Subtlety Rogue, next is the Assassination Rogue. Lying in wait in the shadows, the Assassination Rogue has been pretty prominent in the expansion Battle for Azeroth, but their fate may be limited depending on how the tarot cards see their future. Unfortunately enough, it is not looking great for the Assassination Rogue, as the 2 of Swords has been called, meaning that the Subtlety Rogue and the Assassination Rogue have swapped positions in the tarot card's favor and in Blizzard's favor. Ian Hazzikostas is calling down the Ion Cannon to nerf Assassination into the ground and to ultimately put them into the F tier. Next we have the ever-so-present Marksmanship Hunter. Historically, a very good specialization in World of Warcraft, but recently, not so hot. Let's see where the tarot cards place it inside of our rankings. Ooh, interestingly enough, the Tower. Historically, very strong and very powerful, the Tower presents great fortitude against attackers, but as you can see currently on the tarot card, there is a lightning striking the tower, burning it to the ground, providing doom for the Marksmanship Hunter, putting it in the B tier as it starts to burn to the ground. We will see where it ends up ranking towards the end of the expansion, but at this current moment it is in peril. Frosty Cape, typically defined by their Breath of Sindragosa, is either really good or really bad, and there's very little in between. Unfortunately enough, Frosty K has not been good for a hot minute inside of Battle for Azeroth, but maybe they will have a redemption arc inside of Shadowlands. Let's see what the cards have prescribed for them. Oh goodness, the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is actually an incredibly powerful card. As a king over his own land, you see the Frost Death Knight being one of the kings of the castle of melee. Even though they do not bring a buff or any great utility with the addition of AMZ, they have been moved into the S tier according to the tarot cards. It's not me saying it, I'm just a vehicle of the cards. Beast Mastery Hunter in Ny'alotha has been one of the most powerful and prominent specializations due to the power of corruption. But with all corruption, there comes drawbacks, and let's see if the tarot cards will punish Beast Mastery Hunter for flying too close to the sun, such as they did with Fire Magician. Oh goodness. It seems as if the tarot cards have decided that the Beast Mastery Hunter is no more. The Hermit has been called. They are losing their pets. The Beast Mastery Hunter is falling. Their stocks are falling. Their stocks are falling into the F tier. The Beast Mastery Hunter is dead with Fire Mage. They flew too close to the sun. Oh my god. I'm just a vehicle of the cards. The brother to the Beast Mastery Hunter, Survival Hunter, is up next on our rankings. Unfortunately, we saw the doomed fate of the Beast Mastery Hunter, so maybe the cards will be more fortuitous towards the Survival Hunter, but ultimately, it is not up to I. The sun has been called for the Survival Hunter, which is great news. As you guys previously heard, Beast Mastery flew too close to the sun. Survival being the sun here means that Survival has greatly increased their stonks and is in the S tier. Next up, we have Friend of the Swami, the Elemental Shaman. Elemental Shaman is a close friend of mine, but not something I have ever played or ever seen out in the wild. Lore has it that the Elemental Shaman has been bad for an incredibly long time, but let's see what the tarot cards have to say about that. Oh, interestingly enough, the tarot cards have called Wheel of Fortune as the call for the Elemental Shaman. Wheel of Fortune is ultimately out of the tarot card's control and ultimately in control of the Wheel of Fortune itself. So let's see where this wheel will put the Elemental Shaman. Seems as if C tier has been called for the Elemental Shaman. And you know what? Not bad. Friend of Swami? Friend of the tarot cards? Wheel of Fortune has decided that you are middle of the pack. Congratulations to Elemental Shaman. As Feral Druid is the next selection on the list, I have decided to involve my cat. Cats are one of the most powerful tools in the Swami's arsenal, and thus are going to be shown to use black magic to determine where Feral Druid will land in the Shadowlands. The King of Pentacles has been called by Bert, by the Swami, and by the tarot cards. The King of Pentacles is actually quite powerful, and honestly, this is looking very fortuitous for the cat fantasy. Great news for the cats, as they are highly ranked into the B tier. Next up, one of the most high-profile specializations inside World of Warcraft, the Affliction Lock, is up next. Let's see what the Heart of the Cards has to say about the Affliction Warlock. Oh, unsurprisingly enough, the star has been called for the Affliction Warlock. The star indicating that they are the star of the show, one of the most important people to your cast, and ultimately in the S tier, even above all of the other brothers, including the Destruction Warlock, the Affliction Lock has surpassed them all and will be remaining the star of the show. Next up is the brother to the Simp Arms Warrior. The Fury Warrior is on the docket as of next, and honestly, I'm not sure where the Fury Warrior's fate will lie. They were actually not that bad in Battle for Azeroth, but ultimately, it's not up to me. Interestingly enough, the Nine of Wands has been called. But what does the Nine of Wands mean? According to the cards, the Nine of Wands means that Fury Warrior will have very difficult times having high uptime and will end up casting Heroic Throw a substantial amount on mobs. With this being said, the Nine of Wands has placed the Fury Warrior into the D tier. Next up, probably the least liked class in the game, Havoc Demon Hunter. Havoc Demon Hunter has a long history of being the opponent of the Swami, of course, stealing my soul many moons ago, and honestly just giving me Chaos Brand as a result and as a consequence. Let's see where the cards have ranked the Havoc Demon Hunter. Unsurprisingly, the Havoc Demon Hunter has received the Devil. The Devil, however, is one of the most powerful cards in the tarot card reading simulation. Even though it seems as if it may be inadvertently negative, the power that the Devil provides will push and propel Havoc Demon Hunter up into the S tier again. It is a Devil for all melee and will remain as such, pushing them out of the meta. Next up, the ugly brother of Affliction and Destruction Warlock. The Demonology Warlock controls the power of minions in order to be able to do significant amounts of damage to enemies. They have been pretty bad since the tragic tales of Hellfire Citadel, but let's see what the cards have to say about Demonology and their future. The Page of Pentacles has been drawn and been called by the tarot cards. The Page of Pentacles, as you can also see, has a pentagram on it, which is very fitting for the Demonology Warlock as they do control demons. However, the page has fallen out of favor of the royal family, and unfortunately, I believe that this will put the Demonology Warlock into the C tier as the page's rise and fall of power has been concluded. Next up is the Retribution Paladin. Having sacrificed many of their own beliefs in order to take power of the light, the Retribution Paladin has historically been very poor for what they have sacrificed, being very, very envious of the Demon Hunter class. Let's see if the Paladins will end up paying off in Shadowlands, as this is a very death-themed expansion. Oh, interestingly enough, the Chariot has been the card pulled for Retribution Paladin. It is a very well-known fact that Retribution has more or less a wheelchair component to them, decreasing their availability of mobility substantially. The Chariot, however, is also one of the most powerful vehicles of any army's kit, meaning that Retribution will be better than it has historically been, but how good would it realistically be? The tarot cards have called that Retribution and the Chariot card be in the B tier. Next up, the ever-so-present Shadow Priest. Falling in and out of favor very quickly with the tarot cards, you have seen such highs as Surrender to Madness, Emerald Nightmare, or even Ashara's Eternal Palace, where the Priest was on top. But then occasionally you hit the Ny'alotha realm, where the Priest has fallen very out of favor with the tarot cards, getting smoked by the Ion Cannon. I wonder where it's going to end up landing inside of Shadowlands in the first tier, and what the tarot cards have to say. Interestingly enough, the Page of Wands has been called by the tarot cards. As we spoke of earlier, the Page is not exactly in great favor with the royal family. It has been kind of pushed out as of late. The tarot cards still have some good feelings about the Page, but being the Page of Wands, it just makes it seem like it's one of the more budget casters. Next up, the Frost Magician is next on the docket for today. The Frost Magician has had its highs and lows depending on how useful its slow has been. Let's see where the tarot card ranks the Frost Magician and their slows. Oh, interestingly enough, the Magician card has been called for the Frost Magician. Being the true mage spec, this means that the Frost Magician must go above even Arcane, which we previously had ranked in the A tier. This means that the Frost Magician is an S tier specialization in Shadowlands. As Plague Sprayers and prejudicial beings, the Unholy Death Knight is enemy and sworn enemy of the Swami and the tarot cards. The tarot cards are gross haters for the abomination that Unholy Death Knight has been presented and hates the fact of their existence. Let's see what they have to say today. Unsurprisingly, the tarot cards have revealed the Moon card as what the Unholy Death Knight will be prejudiced to come Shadowlands. The Moon meaning that Unholy Death Knight has been nerfed from orbit and launched into outer space, doing next to no damage. F tier. Being introduced in the Mista Pandaria expansion, the Windwalker Monk has fallen greatly out of favor with the tarot cards and with Blizzard in more recent patches. Being rivaled by the Demon Hunter, the Windwalker Monk is just not that great, and I worry that it will be maintaining that unfortunate position come Shadowlands. Let's check and see what the cards have to say. I feel a very powerful card here. This is not good. Oh, the Death card. Oh no, the Death card has been called for the Windwalker Monk. Oh. F's in the chat. Add a row below. This means that I must make a new row for the Windwalker Monk and label it Death. Good night, sweet prince. And last but certainly not least, my favorite and yours, the Balanced Druid. I feel like the Balanced Druid is definitely one of the greatest specializations in World of Warcraft, but I pray to God that the tarot cards agree with me. Let's wait no longer and see what the last spec in our rankings has to say and what the tarot cards have to say about the Balanced Druid. The Fool card has been called for the Moonkin. Being one of the most powerful men in any army's militia, the Fool is of great triumph and tragedy occasionally whenever you go into battle, but at the end of the day, they are mandatory for your raid and are in the S tier because of it. Congratulations to the Balanced Druid by being ranked such a high-ranking official inside of the tarot card deck. And with that said, that will conclude our DPS tier list rankings for all of the DPS specializations in World of Warcraft. I hope you guys take this tier list very seriously. The Windwalker Monk is dead. Make sure you reroll ASAP. And without further ado, I will see you guys in the next video.